Your Town Matters is funded by the Government of Canada through the Local Journalism Initiative and supported by Cactus Media, Canada's independent community television association.
Welcome to CHCO special municipal election coverage on Your Town Matters. Up until the May 10th municipal election, we will be dedicating this show to the mayoral candidates of Charlotte County. Each candidate will be given the same questions with the same amount of interview time. How they choose to use that time is up to them. On this episode, I'll be sitting down with the two candidates running for mayor of St. Andrews, Doug Nash and Brad Henderson. Starting in alphabetical order, here's my interview with Brad Henderson. Brad, tell me a little bit about yourself and why you are running for mayor of St. Andrews.
Well, my name is Brad Henderson. A little bit about myself is this is my hometown. I was fortunate enough to grow up in this community. I went to Vincent Massey Elementary School, and then from there I graduated from Sir James Dunn Academy. And after I got my high school diploma, I went off to the University of New Brunswick, where I got my degree in business and also a concentration in marketing and economics. I was fortunate enough to get hired by CIBC at that point, which I was very thankful for because it gave me an opportunity to get a strong financial background for personal, but also from a business perspective. And then while I worked at university, I was working for AB InBev, which is one of the largest consumer goods company in the world. And they had a position that was available. So from there, Labatt took me. I was fortunate enough to be able to work in New Brunswick, and I traveled to a lot of different communities, saw kind of the differences and things that we have alike and what makes a strong community. And then after that, I joined the management team of Labatt and actually traveled around with different positions, living in different communities. But what became abundantly clear is that with a big company like that, when you work your way up to management, every 2 to 3 years, you would have to move your family. And I know that kids are resilient, but for me, I really wanted my kids to have a sense of their hometown and have a place that they call home. And for myself, there's no better place than St. Andrews by the Sea, and that's exactly why I moved back here. I wanted my kids to live in the same community that I loved growing up in. And as far as why I offered for council in the first place, is I knew if I ever did get back in this community, which I'm very thankful I did, I knew I would be actively involved. And the first thing I did is volunteer with a number of organizations, some of which you do today. But when I talked to some of the other volunteers, they encouraged me to run for council. And I had no idea what it was going to lead to, but it certainly led me down this path. And if I had to say really why I'm doing it is I hope that after I raise my kids in this town, it's something that they can actually be proud of. And maybe someday, I know it's a long time down the road, but maybe they'll want to raise their kids in the community that I'm raising mine in.
With your time on council, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced?
Well, like every business and every municipality, COVID-19 obviously hit us during this council term. It changed us from 4 years to 5, which might be the first time in the history of municipal government that a council's been in state that long. But outside of COVID-19, I did think that one of the challenges that we could do better is I feel like we need to spend a little bit more time on strategic planning. I feel like doing some strategic planning is actually a roadmap to success. And I don't think that we properly did that. And as a result, I find like sometimes we're a little too internally focused. And although like bylaws are very important to the community and things like that, I felt like at times we were spending time on these long bylaws when in reality, the reason you raise your hand for council is you want to make a difference and you want to provide new opportunity. And that's what I'm passionate about. So I would say that not having that strategic plan to have that roadmap year 1, year 2, year 3, I feel like that was a gap that was hard for this council to overcome.
Are there accomplishments that you're proud of the 5 years you actually spent as deputy mayor so far?
There's a lot of accomplishments that we're proud of, and when you ask that question, it's kind of 2 levels. There's the team ones, and those are the most important. Council is a team. You're only one vote and one voice at the table, and if you're not willing to work with your other councillors and deputy mayor and mayor, you're going to have a hard time getting it done. And I do think, although we all have different in opinions and backgrounds, I do think that we were able to accomplish some amazing team wins for the community. And I look at some of them, the new wellness center, to have that used to be a bowling alley, then a call center, then wasted space, and to take that space and build a brand new wellness center for this community, that's a huge win. You look at the arena itself where the wellness center is, I don't think a lot of people in the public knew that that was one heavy snowstorm away from being closed. The arena roof had leaked so long that the engineer assessment of it actually questioned the integrity of the roof. So we were able to get the funding from other levels of government to get that done. And then of course the wharf. This community over the last 10 years has spent $575,000 on emergency repairs to that wharf, and the engineering assessment over the next 10 was to spend at least another $2 million. So to get a $5 million project where we got the provincial and federal government to invest $3.5 million of that approximately, that's a huge win for our community. And when I look at individually, there's some things that I'm really proud of. I find that although I wasn't the official voice of council over the last 5 years, that I've done the best job I possibly could to sell our community. If I look at some really exciting things that happened, all the premiers of Canada came here a couple of years ago. How did that happen? Well, Tyler Van Gulpen is a resident of St. Andrews who was involved with John Ames in the provincial government. He let me know those meetings were coming, and I went up and did to the New Brunswick Office of Protocol. I did a presentation on why they should all come to New Brunswick, and then after that we had some site meetings where they visited us. I lobbied to the Premier's office, and to get those meetings to be held where everybody in the country is looking at St. Andrews, that was a huge win. Best destination in Canada, USA Today. That was something that we celebrated. But USA Today required a liaison with the town to facilitate that, and I was very fortunate to be that individual. So there was things that I had no idea how to do. I've never hosted a Twitter party, but that was actually something that they wanted us to do as part of that contest. So to be able, the community certainly won that, but to be the liaison with USA Today to get that international recognition, that's huge for a community. And then even Amazing Race Canada, 2.4 million viewers viewed our town. And I was the one that talked to the producers, hosted them here, and sold them on our community. The episode was supposed to be in St. John. We were going to be one segment, and they fell in love with our community. And 3/4 of that show was all about St. Andrews. So I do feel like I've helped elevate the profile, but I think probably the key one for me is how involved I've been with everybody in the community. I took a leadership position, and I made sure that I worked with a lot of different groups in the community. The Chamber of Commerce, I was the town representative. With Abbey Pond, with the Charlotte Coastal Regional Tourism Association, I was the town representative. Dale Chambers with the BIA, I was the town representative. Rural Links with Stan Choptiani to bring transportation here, I was the representative. The farmers market, age-friendly community, I was involved with all of those files, so I'm very proud of my presence with them. And the other thing is I was the town representative on the doctor recruitment committee. So we've only had one doctor in this community for a long time, and I was able to work with Dr. Peer and Annette Hardland, and we were able to go and meet with graduate students and actually try to recruit a second doctor. And then a local resident, Leona Golding, actually put us in touch with someone that was interested in coming here. So the fact that with Brian and Annette's dedication to help get a second doctor in this community, those are huge wins that I'm so proud that I was able to help deliver.
What do you think going forward are some of the key issues that St. Andrews is facing, and how would you attempt to overcome them?
Well, I think that this isn't just a St. Andrews issue, but it's one that we have to address. Housing. We have a lot of beautiful properties in this town, and we're so thankful to have them. Beautiful homes on half-acre lots. But the reality is we don't have a very diverse housing portfolio. If you're a senior living in a big house and you're looking for a garden home in this community, there's not going to be much there for you. If you're a young worker that wants to come and work in St. Andrews at a job that we need workers for, good luck finding a long-term apartment. So we need to actually actively, as a municipality, start addressing those issues. There is nobody that is going to come to St. Andrews and fix those problems for us. The provincial government has municipalities all across this province. We need to actually be the squeaky wheel that gets the grease. We need someone that's willing to go up to Fredericton, meet with ministers, meet with key government officials, and sell this challenge that we have. Our vacancy rate for long-term rentals in this region is 0.3%. That means that landlords can charge whatever they want on rent, And young people or seniors in our community almost have to pay it or they don't have an option, or the other one, of course, is moving. So we need to address that. People that look at their tax bill, they're going to see that their taxes have consistently gone up over the last 10 years, both your appraisal value, but also your mill rate. And when you look at aging infrastructure in this community, it seems like the solution we have is increasing debt and adding on taxes. But New Brunswick has never had a better opportunity to grow than what it has right now. We've seen it. More and more people are looking at this Atlantic bubble and saying, why not move here? So we need a council that's willing to talk to developers. We need a council that's willing to go to Fredericton, inspire people to invest in this community, because that's how we stop the taxes rising. We grow the community. And I'm not talking about altering the historic town plat. There is development opportunities outside of that town plat. And I know the question is, if you want people to come, where are they going to work? You have organizations like Huntsman. They're talking about becoming a knowledge park, encouraging other marine science and research companies to come right here in St. Andrews. So to go and work with Huntsman and to actually pitch to businesses, there's other businesses that are asking, they need a municipal partner that is going to work with them to try to put their best foot forward to really grow their campus. And those are good year-round jobs. So those are the type of priorities that I want to look at over the next few years. Another just a couple quick too is age-friendly community. There was so many volunteers that worked on that in the community. They spent hours and hours. And I'm not saying that council didn't appreciate the document and council doesn't look at that document, but council doesn't live that document. That is not we've got our designation, checked the box, we're done. That is an active file that we must live every day to improve for the community. And then the last thing that I'll say about important issues is communication. The reality is that the resident of St. Andrews shouldn't have to watch a 4-hour meeting every week to know what's going on in the town. And that is the responsibility of the mayor. The mayor is the voice of council. And I think a mayor needs to have a pretty comprehensive communication strategy with the public. And you can use a number of different means. Obviously, I use social media, which is very important. But if you look at a town mailout, it's $180 to do a town mailout. Why are we waiting every 3 months? Even if you increased it to every 2 months or every month, you could give people the information they need a lot more regularly. So there's a lot of different things you can do on communication. We do our Zoom meetings on social media right now. People love that. So post-pandemic, we need to continue doing that. And there's other ways through YouTube. You can tell stories of the community. I would really appreciate the opportunity for the public to consider me. I don't think that a mayor is just necessarily an honorary position. I think we need a mayor that is going to get up every day and go to work and be passionate and really try to get the issues that we need solved addressed, so we're not spending time working on 15-page bylaws. I think that's what the community is looking for, and I hope with their support that I'll be that individual.
I have 30 seconds left, so why should people vote for you?
They should vote for me because they're going to know what they're going to get. I am going to be hardworking. I am going to get up every day for this community. I'm not going to just talk around the council table. I'm not going to just talk around town. I am going to communicate, but I'm going to reach out and I'm going to address the issues we need addressed. I'm a working mayor, and I hope people really see that from what I've accomplished over the last 5 years. And either way, I'm so glad that the community has choice. The fact that we have 16 people running for council and 2 for mayor, the community deserves choice, and I'm confident that the voter of St. Andrews will do what they think is best, and I'm optimistic that this community has a bright future.
Thank you, Brad, for being here today.
No, thank you. I'm really excited that everyone's going to get the opportunity to meet the candidates. And on a personal level, thank you over the course of this council term for all the great things we've done on the side, the candidate virtual show or Santa's helpers for families in need at Christmas time. We're very blessed to have you in this community. So thank you for all that you guys do.
Thank you. That was Brad Henderson. Now here is my interview with Doug Nash. So Doug, let's start off by you telling us a little bit about yourself and why you're re-offering for mayor.
Yeah, certainly. After a long period of thinking about it, I decided to re-offer as mayor because I've been the incumbent mayor for 5 years now, successfully, I believe, and I hope others will agree with that when it comes down to election day. And I think I would miss it too much not to be here. And I know that I found out a long time ago that what motivates me in life is having responsibility, and I've certainly had a lot of responsibility over the last 5 years, and I hope that I've discharged it properly. And so I'm looking forward to taking on even more responsibility, because there are many more challenges and many more accomplishments that I think we need to make in St. Andrews.
Can you tell me a little bit about what some of your biggest or most proud accomplishments are as your time as mayor?
Sure. Actually, one of them is for sure, and I was thinking about this before I came in today, was the fact that we have put together a 5-year term council of people that weren't together before, that were acclaimed, which means they're elected. They were acclaimed. I'm not making a big deal about that, but it is different in terms of having gone through that. So it was starting from scratch almost, even though some of those members had had previous experience on council. That was the one thing. And putting that all together and making it work took a little bit of time in the initial stages, but as it came along, and particularly in the last 2 years, and especially last year when we were stood down, as I call it, and told that we had to serve an extra year because of COVID, which, by the way, was a brilliant decision of the provincial government and totally necessary, we managed to have a completely good year where we accomplished a great deal of things that we might not have accomplished had we had to stop in 4 years. So, in fact, it was a positive thing. So one of those silver linings that COVID caused to get things done here. And during that time, we finished our 10-year municipal plan. We finished our secondary municipal plan for the historic business district, and we completed our brand new and much improved zoning bylaw for the town of St. Andrews. 3 major pieces of work. And again, I don't take credit as the mayor for that, but I was at the helm in doing that. I was the chair. We put that all together with the work of many people, including council, but also many other people in the community. So that was a brilliant piece of work, I believe, that we accomplished, and we might not have gotten it all done if it wasn't for the extra year. One of the other things that I'm very proud of is the fact that it took 3 years, but we now have a wellness center that is second to none that I've seen in a municipality anywhere in New Brunswick. And with no outside money, no provincial money, all done by the taxpayers of St. Andrews with help from the Dunn Foundation, which we couldn't have done it without. So going back just a little bit of background so that people who don't know me, we've had a lot of new people move in the last 5 years into St. Andrews, which is brilliant. I love it. It's terrific. We've got new people with new experiences, and it's been great to see that some of those new people have made their way to become, I think, candidates for this election as council members. So absolutely unbelievable that we have 16 council candidates and 2 people running for mayor. So we've done our part for democracy in St. Andrews. But how did I get here, I guess, is the question for people that don't know me as well as some people do. I got here because I graduated with a degree in applied criminology from the University of Ottawa, but way back in 1974, I started my career with the Ontario Ministry of Correctional Services. I was recruited to be one of the first investigators at the Ontario Ombudsman's Office, specializing in correctional services and psychiatric hospitals. And 11 years later, I was the Assistant Director of Investigations and was recruited again by the New Brunswick Department of Justice to come here and set up an internal affairs program and audit program for correctional services when they had not had one here prior to that. So that evolved into a number of senior positions in correctional services, and leading to a little bit of a blip in my career when I was diagnosed in 2002 with multiple sclerosis, and it took me 4 or 5 years to get used to being ill, and then back on the saddle, if you like, and then eventually to retirement in 2010, and moving to St. Andrews in 2009 from elsewhere in New Brunswick, and then finding that I was a little bit bored and decided that council had some attraction to me, and here I am. So hopefully I've done enough to justify the faith that I think many in the community may have in me, and I'm hoping to be successful in reoffering.
What do you think are some of the biggest challenges facing St. Andrews today, biggest issues?
to me, the number one biggest issue in St. Andrews going forward, and I must stress that I'm a go-forward person. You know, I'm a person that has a vision, and I think the go-forward thing we need here is housing. On many levels, not only affordable housing, all kinds of housing we need here. We just don't have it, and our new zoning bylaw and our new municipal plan very much stress the importance and the requirement that we get housing. We're basically out of housing. We've become such a popular place that the number of people that may want to join us and live here in St. Andrews is going to begin to be affected by the lack of housing. So that's certainly one of the most, if not the most important thing that we have to deal with on the ground going forward.
Okay, and if you are reelected, what are some of the steps that you will take to make our community a better place to live?
Well, actually, I think that I spoke about the Wellness Center. I think that primary health care has become almost a responsibility that should be delegated to municipalities. The provincial government, no disrespect to the provincial government, but the frontline health care that can be delivered in communities is really the answer to reduce the pressure on our hospital systems and the other systems where people who are very ill have to go for their treatment, and we're certainly seeing evidence of that problem right now with what's been going on just recently in New Brunswick with COVID-19 and the variants and whatnot. So we have to go forward with that. And also wellness has become the issue. You know, aging in place is something that we haven't done a very good job of yet, but we are starting to move in that direction, and we realize that that's going to reduce considerably the pressure on the healthcare system into the future and create a much better quality of life for people as they age, to be able to stay in their own homes with the proper supports. And going forward from that, there's an exciting new plan going forward with a new Passamaquoddy Lodge nursing home that I hope will be geared to people who really need to be in a nursing home, because there have been two sides to that coin. Many people have ended up in nursing homes because of the lack of alternate care in place. And so we really only want nursing homes to be the best that they can be, but only reserved for those people that really need to be in that kind of a setting. So, you know, that's another part of the agenda for me. Also going forward with the age-appropriate community initiatives that we've put in place. It's been a marvelous experience to see everything that we've been able to accomplish there, and we're the envy of many other places, and I want to keep it that way.
All right, and to close out our interview, Doug, I'll just ask you finally, why should people vote for you? And you've got about 3 minutes left to say.
Well, look, I think I have a great deal of senior management experience, and being the mayor is about leadership. We seldom talk about that, but it is about leadership. And I think that over the years, the kinds of experiences that I've had in my career and in my life in general have taught me to be a good leader, and I think I can continue to lead this community forward.
Thank you, Doug, for joining me today.
Thank you.
That concludes our St. Andrews Mayoral Candidates episode of Your Town Matters. Stay tuned for more episodes of Your Town Matters featuring mayoral candidates from across Charlotte County. I'm Vicki Hogarth. Thank you for watching.